Right, okay, so that is the amount needed for each one. So realistically then, if we say ore and we say 6,000, I'm going to need 18,000 ore to guarantee 1 hour's production. Come on now. Oh, is it not allowing me to use my numpad? There we go. There we go. And silicon wafers, 5,000. We've got 3 of them, so we'll put 15,000 in here. There we go. And then we'll just sell more than that. Honestly, I might even tell it to just sell anything more than twice what it's got. So that might be a bit of a better setup there. So, for example, 36 anything over 36,000 it would get rid of. And anything more than 30,000, that makes sense. So if I've got more than 2 hours worth of production, then it can start selling the excess just to make extra money. How much energy do I need? Energy cells 2,000. Let's round up to 2,500. So that's 7,500 there, and 2,000 here. So an extra 6,000. Okay, that's not too bad. So 13,500. We'll round it to 14,000. Sell if it's over. Well, we'll round it all the way up to 15,000 actually. If I've got more than 15,000, you're allowed to sell it. But there shouldn't be a buy order. I will buy only from my own people. Oh wait, sorry, that's 1 hour's worth. So if there's more than 30,000, I will buy up to 15,000. There we go. I probably need to pop a bit more storage on this place, just so it's got a little bit more room. But overall, I think that's okay. And if we have a look at their account, yeah, their account is very positive right now. What are the drones used for? Okay, there's a couple of different types of drones. So you've got a few of these. You've got repair drones. They simply repair the station if it's taken damage. Defense drones. These are like automated small fighters. They will launch and attack any threats. They're not very good, but in a large swarm, they can be a nuisance. But, if someone brought the kind of fleet needed to take down a station, these are probably not really going to help. These are more for deterring, like, fighters and small craft that might be up to nefarious things. Like for example, me, if I'm trying to steal blueprints, I'm not doing that in a massive, station rocking fleet. I'm doing that in a single fighter. Cargo drones are used to move cargo from large ships. You may notice that medium and small ships dock directly onto the station, but large ships have to pull up to the pier. So if the station has cargo drones, then the ship doesn't need them. If the station doesn't have cargo drones, then the ship needs cargo drones. So a large miner might not have all mining drones or defense drones on it. It might make sense to have a few cargo drones, just in case you pull up to a station that doesn't have its own cargo drones. But any station I make will have cargo drones at it. And since I know that there's cargo drones at my station, I can then free those drones up in miners that are specifically going to be working for that station, if that makes sense. So, builder drones. Diminutive says, build ships, terraforming, late game money sink stuff. And if used on builder ships, help building stations. If used on orc ships, so like fleet support ships, will repair different biggish ships in the fleet. Nice. Oh, and repair drones will repair surface elements as the primary priority, and then hull as a secondary priority. That's quite cool. That's very good to know. Right, so we need to add G-Man 99. Now, G-Man 99 is going to be a regular station. Like, I'm not going to give it an important number. Simply because it's just a civilian station at this point. So, it's going to have that number. The name is Gman 99. It's going to be a civilian station again. Role is simply, I guess, industrial station. I might make that a little bit more. I might change the way I do the station prefixes, because right now it's just STN is the only name we really use. But I might change that based on what purpose the station has. We'll see. But this is now the name in here. Now the reason why I'm doing this, because the game gives every ship a unique identifier. That's the ship registry in brackets. But it doesn't mean anything to me. This allows things to be ordered in an alphabetical list in the way that I want it to be ordered in the alphabetical list, basically. So that's the way I'm doing there. Right, Vanya is the next up. And we are going to start getting through these a lot faster now. Vanya, you are again a civilian. But you are a Mercury Vanguard again. Nice. Another freighter then. And FRT. And that gives me my name. Boom. There we go. So the Vanya is currently assigned as a trade group. So Vanya is actively going out and trying to sell the stuff that Gman 99 produces. If we go back into Gman 99 just to cover something, there are certain things that I will buy ore from someone else if I need it. I want to mostly buy it from my own miners, but if there's a shortfall, then it means my miners aren't keeping up with it, because they're dedicated miners. So at that point, I'm willing to take it from other people, because I'm going to turn it into something better, and then sell that later on. But right now, I've actually got its own faction, which is probably why we're having a little bit of trouble keeping up with things. So I'm going to actually change these back to being willing to purchase from outside of my faction. Energy cells, I will only buy them from my faction, because we've got Deathcrawler producing, eventually a large amount of energy cells. I should be able to buy them cheap as chips from Deathcrawler, and I'll just have them come over here. But then selling, I'm willing to sell to anyone. It doesn't matter to me. Trade restrictions do apply to this where? Do they? Yes, that's good. So we'll buy this from whoever is willing to sell it, basically. And we can instantly see that we're buying up to the requisite amount. So that'll come in. We'll start producing refined materials and metals and silicon wafers again. And money will start going back up. We can have a look at the transaction log and we see that, generally speaking, this place is not doing too bad. I can even show less just to see a bit better. So in 10 minutes, it's made 152,000. If I look at 30 minutes, it's made 771,000. So it's making money about every 5 minutes. It makes a good wallop of cash, give or take. So it's very, very nice. Do stations need money? Yes, they do need money in order to buy resources. So you have to have money in the station account. But once the station gets up and running, it should be okay to keep its own funds. For example, Deathcrawler doesn't need to buy anything to make its money, so it's just got money available at all times. In terms of Deathcrawler's construction funds, the expected construction budget is quite large, but I can just siphon money out because it doesn't need money to operate, so I can just take that money out if I want. Like, for example, I can just confirm the estimate, take all that money out, then pump some extra money into this. Like, let's top that back up to another 1 million. There we are, confirm. There we go. And that'll keep feeding in what's needed to build out the components. It's currently working on the pier. And then it's going to be working on the luxury dock area. And once that's done, it'll start working on the production modules, the 2 other energy cells. So it's going to be working on that for a little while. But anyway, we've got our Vanya freighter. And now we've got a bunch of miners. Now these are specific to G-99. So we have a look at Flynod. This is a mineral. They're all going to be mineral miners, actually, thinking about it. Because this is only dealing with solid materials. So, time for us to start popping these through. Hey, steer car, good morning. That's a nice money-making station for the start of the game. Will you use piracy later on? I am very, very interested in discovering how boarding works, yes. That is 100% something I'm going to be looking into. That is probably that might not even happen this stream. So, you know, that's more of a later down the line kind of thing, but it is definitely something I want to do. Right, this is Flynod. Pavilion. Now this one is a drill mineral vanguard. The role is mineral miner. And the prefix for this will be, I believe I set mineral miners to MSN. And then gas miners are GSM. I could possibly change it. I could maybe have the prefixes MMR and GMR. Gas miner. Yeah, that makes a little bit more sense for me, actually. So MMR and GMR. Go. So Flynod is now set up. Dunk. And then Moria and Shadar Jard and 9 are all going to be exactly the same things. Let's just do those. We've got Moria, Shadar Jard, and 9. Okay, that makes this super easy to fill out. Like I said, once I had an opportunity to get this going, it was going to start moving forward a lot faster. Oh, really? Did that not take? I don't know why that does that sometimes. It always takes a little bit more time when you're first setting up the system. But once you've got it flowing properly, and I happen to... I know this is going to sound stupid, but I enjoy making spreadsheets that are automated. It pleases me. Hey, Oniria Sky. What colour are you dyeing your hair to? I mean, you know, boarding ships is going to feel exploity compared to buying them, but then that's the thing with having enough boarders, really. Oniria Sky. The first time I read your reply, I missed the L, and I thought tea-coloured. I mean, that's certainly one way of describing brown, but I mean, I give you points for deciding to describe the colour of your hair as tea. However, yes, there was definitely a moment of confusion there. Okay, so that's all of the ships for G-Man 99. So now we just go down to the regular ships we've got. The Mako, I'm actually going to make a specialist ship, I think. Yeah, I think so. So, Mako. This is going to be a 02 number. It is civilian. Well, actually, no, I would say it's military. Because it's effectively a scout. Well, I mean, it is technically a fighter, but I'm going to say it's, well, what is it? It's a ship class? Does it have class here? Model. Oh, model is the Mako. Okay. Oh, we're going to need another name then, because this is just the model. Role is going to be a scout ship. So, I believe for that we want SCT. Going to sort this by A to Z. Right. Let's see. Who wants to name our newest scout ship? The first boron ship that we got. Time for some naming games. Atomic aliens in there straight away. Perfect. That will do. Thank you very much. As for the question on flyby boarding, I'm not going to do flyby boarding. No. Do we have an atomic aliens already? We don't. Yep. There we go. I should get a captain, if only because having a captain on a ship that I'm piloting means that they very quickly get good at being a captain. Hello, Lady Hannah. How you doing? Wonderful to see you in chat. I hope you're having a nice day. How's Wild? But for those wondering what Steercar meant by flyby boarding or attacking the ships, flyby boarding is when, from what I understand, you have your boarding, your Marines on your ship, and you kind of accelerate to travel drive speeds on a path that's going to intersect and ideally pass by the ship you want to board in such a position where their turrets won't have an easy firing arc on you. But as you pass by, you launch the boarding op just at the closest point. So all of the pods launch, and you're already gone before the ship can really open fire on you. And the boarding pods just kind of latch on and immediately try to break into the hull and board. Oh, diminutive. I know that this kind of goes again to what I was talking about before. I know what the game considers things like there are technically scout ships and there are fighters and heavy fighters and stuff, but when I talk about the role, I mean what I'm going to use it for. The Mako is going to be used as a scout ship, not as a fighter, even though it is a fighter type of ship. I won't be using it in that capacity. And that's also why I don't call couriers couriers. I call them haulers, and why I call both transporters and freighters freighters, because that's the role in my mind. Like a medium transport ship is also kind of a freighter to me. But thank you very much for pointing out. I didn't actually notice the whole thing of the triangle versus the square. That is quite cool. I hadn't noticed that specific difference, but I was aware of the line generally denoting its size. Though that being said, when I was looking through the ships back here, I didn't consider that, but I should have. Where was it? Beta group. I should have thought about that, because obviously this is a medium ship because it's got the line. So thank you for bringing that back to my attention, because clearly it had fallen out of my brain. So I appreciate that. Diolch yn fawr. That's pretty much it. If the turrets don't matter much, though, you just fly by, pause the game, and launch your pods. Yeah, I feel that like using time dilation shenanigans in order to get it to work, that is very much in the territory of, yeah, this is kind of exploity. This is cheesing the game heavily, and I'm not about that. That being said, I once again will reiterate: if the hill isn't there, I'll build the hill in order to stand on it and die, die for other people's right to play a single player game however the hell they want. Whether that is cheesing it, whether that is straight up cheating it. It's a single player game. It's there for you to have fun. If that's what makes the game fun for you, crack on. You enjoy it. Make the game into whatever you want it to be for you to enjoy it. Obviously my feelings about that sort of stuff, if it's a multiplayer game, are a bit more restrictive. It should be an even playing field. Unless the whole point of the game is for it not to be. There are quite a lot of asymmetric multiplayer games. But, long story short, if you enjoy playing this game with cheese, crack on. But that is not something that I enjoy personally. Right, you're currently filling shortages for claytronics and antimatter cells. That is fine. I could just have you fill shortages for claytronics, if I'm perfectly honest. That would probably be fine. Are you full? You currently have antimatter cells? You know what? Okay, fine. And each one of these, I guess, eventually will probably want traders that are filling shortages for one for each type of thing that is having a shortage filled. Fair enough, Lady Hannah. Well, I'm glad that the story is doing better rather than anything else. That is good to hear. But I'm hoping you're enjoying your day off at the moment. That elusive free time. Apparently the time dilation is one thing, but you also don't lose reputation. Well, that is... Why on earth wouldn't you lose a reputation for literally boarding a ship? Well, okay. Again, cheese. But yeah, if people enjoy that, then more power to them, I say. Right, continuing on then with naming our transports. This one was called the Anubis. TSN. Another civilian ship. This one is a Mercury Vanguard again. I seem to like Mercury Vanguard, it seems. Freighter and FRT. Go. And so you'll notice that things are going to start automatically ordering themselves. And they will, once everything is in order, they will organize themselves first based on the type of ship, then based on whether it's civilian or military with civilian at the top, then in order of when the ship was commissioned. And I quite like that, honestly. Darkest Dodo, civilian, Mercury Vanguard, freighter, FRT. And this is 1009. And sadly, we're not going to have a Lady of Distrust because I didn't have the system in place before we lost the Lady of Distrust. And I believe the heavy fighter that I had on the Lady of Distrust, for that matter. Let's have a look at what you're currently doing. You're doing advanced electronics and weapon components. I really should probably specialize them, and I will once I'm done renaming everything. This is a 1010 Flying Kiwi. Another Mercury Vanguard. Freighter. And there we go. Once we've done this for all of the ships that I currently have, it's not going to be as much of a bother because I'll only do it when I'm making new ships, which is going to be significantly less common. The Moken, which is presently doing hull parts and energy cells. Moken is in quite a lot of my series at the moment, aren't they? Now, the big question is what we're going to do next. once we've got all this done. I could go do a bit more exploring. We could build up our stations a bit more. That's the other thing. Now, Rosesand is presently revisiting known stations. And I think the reason why I've got my scouts doing that is because I figured that it would cause them to do multiple jobs. But I think that maybe that doesn't help. Is there a better thing that I could set up here? Protect position, protect ship, protect station, patrol, local auto trade, revisit known stations. I mean, revisiting known stations feels like a useful one because they just basically pop around all of the stations and just keep their trade data available as a consequence. Silicon wafers is where the money's at. Yeah, it does seem that way, doesn't it? The Lady of Distrust did go down in a blaze of glory fighting a station. Yes, pretty much. But she shouldn't have been fighting, but yeah, you know. Mistakes were made. That's all I'm going to say. Mistakes were, in fact, made. So the way I've been using scouts is that I'll have the scouts permanently in the station, in the area, just visiting stations. I could achieve the same effect by dropping advanced satellites, though, realistically. So maybe I'm going to want to change that up. What kind of ship is this? This is a Discoverer Vanguard. What's your loadout right now? 2 weapons. 10 laser towers. And your behavior. Escape and deploy laser towers if you come under attack. Use global settings to mark abandoned ships. Ignore lockboxes. Pirate harassment, escape and deploy laser towers. Ignore dropped crates. Comply with police interdiction. We'll take care, diminutive. You have a good one, mate. What should we do with the scouts? Are they actually getting experience from this? Because my assumption was every time they fly to a station and then move to another one, they would get a little roll of potential experience. But it could be that the revisit stations command is a single big command, and as such, they don't get extra experience for it. It's just an unending command, so they're not actually doing a job one at a time, which is the way they gain experience. Oh, that sounds like a pretty busy day, to be fair, Lady Hannah. Did the laundry, cooked the dinner, swept and cleaned the paths, dug the veg patch, and got it ready for winter. Do you actually plant anything for winter? Like, I don't know how mild the winters are where you are. Cleaned the bathrooms and decided you deserved a little Skyrim. I would say you absolutely do deserve a little bit of Skyrim, yes. I don't believe they get experience points just from flying anymore. So, sadly, I think that's how they used to work. I assumed that the kinds of jobs that they would be doing here would be bouncing around locations, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. So, I am going to say that assuming these are all... Oh, this is an Eclipse Vanguard. That is a Discoverer Vanguard. What's an Eclipse Vanguard then? Loadout. You've got a lot more. You've got plasma cannons. You are a serious threat. Okay. And you appear to be an Elite Vanguard. So we've got 2 Discoverer Vanguards and an Eclipse Vanguard, which is a much more capable fighter. Honestly, I think I should just put these together into a group. Maybe Unsinkable could be another scout. Hmm. The other thing I could do is I could just have them all like trading solar cells. Sorry, energy cells, just to gain a bit of experience. Because it would be nice to have them with a bit of extra experience. There are enemy ships in here that I could. Not sure where you're headed right now, but you are under attack. What is your behavior? Flee, override, select response. No, go ahead. Cancel override. Escape and deploy lasers, ideally. I told you to stop fleeing. It's kind of annoying. I decided to go for the police. What I could do is have a bunch of these ships join together and just protect this system. I'm a little bit concerned that I'm about to lose that ship, though. Do you not have any... doesn't look like you had any laser towers to drop. Well, hopefully the police vanguard is going to be able to help there. We have got a Cerberus, an Antigon fighter squadron Cerberus Sentinel heading in. They may be in time to help, but I'm not entirely certain. I think we may actually be about to lose the Shadar Jard. Okay, but back to what we were doing with the others. Unsinkable 2, definitely a scout. You're an elite vanguard, so you're basically a starter ship, effectively. I'm going to call you 1012. Sinkable 2, civilian. You are an elite vanguard, which is anything but elite. Scout. CT. I'm probably going to have you doing some automated jobs for me. Let's have a look at your loadout right now. Got light missiles for some reason. Nav beacons, resource probes. I'm actually going to get you to go to a wharf or an equipment dock. Yeah. Go over here. I would like you to upgrade and repair. I'm going to upgrade you a bit, actually. You're a scout ship. Oh, it doesn't show my logo on here. That's annoying. We could give you... Travel speed would be down. I mostly want you traveling, though, with high travel speed. So we're going to give you a travel drive. I'll give you combat thrusters. The shield generator is fine. I don't expect you to really be doing much fighting. Pulse laser is also fine. Though I do wonder about the beam emitter. I think I would actually like to put that on one of my ships and use it for lockboxes. I don't know if it would help or not, though. I don't think you actually need anything really there. But consumables, I want to get rid of the light missiles. Get rid of all of those. I would like you... Nav beacons, 20, that's fine. Resource probes, let's pop that up to 20. Actually, we're going to drop the nav beacons down to 10. 10 resource probes. 10 laser towers. So you can actually drop those if you need them. Countermeasures. I'll take all 4. 10 advanced satellites. And then I will top up the nav beacons and the resource probes. That gives me 50 deployables. This is an expensive upgrade, to be certain. crew. I could just get some regular service crew on there. I'll add an extra one. If only because it lets them train. I feel like carrying around illegal goods worth more than the ship I'm flying when I'm just learning the basics is a sadly terrible idea. So much potential. Yeah, I wish I could find somewhere that would allow me to sell those. It deeply frustrating. Once you got the player HQ, you can drop it off there because you've basically got a place where you can just leave things. But add to the shopping list. It's going to cost me a cool 500,000, half a mil, to get that sorted. But you go back and do that unsinkable because I've got plans for you, Malado. Right. Sicko Devil. You are a heavy fighter. You're going to be doing that job. Definitely. Oh, actually, Unsinkable should have been a military ship. Let me just update that. But I consider the scouting role a military role, personally. Because information acquisition is scouting new areas. I mean, you could have a civilian scout that only is like a prospector. That would still fall in the scouting role, but would be a civilian role. But generally speaking, going and pushing the bounds of frontiers, looking for opportunities, also, gathering information on enemy, that more is a military sort of thing, in my opinion. This is an Eclipse Vanguard. I always want to spell Eclipse with a Y. And this is a heavy fighter. I'm going to form a group with them. Heavy fighter is HFT. There we go. I'm going to form a little fleet. For the time being, I'm going to tell Sicko Devil to go back and dock. Dock and wait at Deathcrawler. Hey, Lonely Guardsman. How you doing, mate? Welcome to the chat. Right, Rosand and Thalatron are both fighters, and they will be in... They'll form a fighter wing with Sicko Devil, the lead, and that is how I'm going to protect some areas. I'll probably just give them a patrol order. I don't know how likely that is to result in them all dying. We'll find out, I guess. Rosand, military. You are a Discoverer Vanguard. Fighter prefix is FIT. Because otherwise it's too close to freighter. It will cause me confusions. Right. Rosand, I also want you over here. Dock and wait. Alatron is pretty much the same. Okay, that's our ship list so far. We will also have Thalatron heading over here too. So, dock and wait. Right, now I can reorder. Yep, there we are. We've up to... technically we've got 17 ships in total. Currently roaming around doing stuffs. A Corvette would be in order, however, not easy for me to do based on the money that I've got available. Alright, I want to check out... Yeah, we did. Sadly, Sadly, we lost the Shadar Jar. Did it actually give me a message about that? Let me have a look. Does it not tell me when I lose a ship? Oh, there we are. Destroyed. So, could I... Destroyed. Oh, actually, we've got the list of all of the other previous ships that have been destroyed. Haha. Not sure that those really matter to me, but these ones do. So I could, but I don't have detailed information for what they were. Yeah, I don't have any detailed information, so I'm not sure that we're going to include it. But the Shajar Jar we do, so I can actually mark that one off the list. We'll do a strike through on that. Dunk. Much sadness. But yeah, we've got a couple of ships here. Lady of Distrust, I guess we know what Lady of Distrust was. In that was a... Let's see about that. Let me see if I can pull up the info. I believe it was a frigate. So if I buy ships, go to medium. Yeah. The funny thing about this is the most ridiculous place for a landing pad. Why is it in front of the cockpit? Every time something took off or tried to land, I couldn't see what was happening anymore. Such a pain in the backside. Okay, we can add Lady of Distrust in here, but it's kind of a posthumous thing. I believe Lady of Distrust was our first medium combat ship, so I'll give it a prestigious number. Lady of Distrust. Actually, no. I'm going to give it a regular military number. Though I suppose... Yeah, no, I will give it a prestigious one, because it was basically the flagship of our fleet. Or the first big investment of for a military vessel. And I think that should be recorded. Cerberus Vanguard, and this is, in fact, a frigate. The prefix for that is going to be FRG. So there we go. And I can mark that down automatically, like, the ship was lost. But it'll be recorded for the future. It felt bad not to record that, frankly. Because, yeah, it was an important ship. But if I wanted to set that up, it would cost me about 3 million to replace. Not happening. Sadly, that is another thing that's going to be happening for now, at the very least. Right, let's go and check in on our ships. Rosand, they're both in Grand Exchange. Are you also there? You're on the way still. Moving shockingly slowly. You're actually very far away, to be fair, so that makes sense. Let's have a look at how much is it going to set me back to get another miner. We're going to need a lot of mineral miners over here, frankly. But I'd kind of like to have my combat group down here, protecting our ships. Let me see if I can make a fleet. How do I set that one up already? Actually, what kind of loadout do you guys have? You do have 10. You have all sorts of gubbins that you don't need. 5 nav beacons, 10 laser towers, and flares is fine. I'm going to send Roseanne to equip the same sort of stuff. Okay. Wow, you got a high tier combat drive. High tier shields. Second tier pulse lasers. Alright. Talking to computer, you don't need a trading extension. You can sell that one back. Consumables. Laser towers and flares. That's great. You're not going to need nav beacons, though. I could even pop down some friend or foe mines, I guess. Might be useful to have. Or just more laser towers. I think that's generally okay, though. I don't need...
I was asked to drop my cargo.
Okay. I'll have a look at that. Go ahead, add to shopping list. You don't need anything, actually, more than that. So, in the shop list has unassigned... What? What do you mean unassigned? Oh. Sorry. Add to shopping list. Go ahead. Confirm. Right. Who was asked to drop their cargo? Let's have a look. Where are you? Over here, and you are skedaddling from the Plunderer Phoenix. You dropped the laser tower, and it seems that laser tower is currently distracting the ship. Very well. Go ahead and make your way somewhere safe. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. Because that thing could probably have just